My name's Kenneth.
My name is Celina.
And our advocacy speech is on raising minimum wage.
Third.
In the next 2.5 years, the government and the state legislative leaders will pass a bill that will increase the minimum wage. It will benefit the people with low incomes and keep their jobs for longer periods of time and fewer risks of going into poverty. Raising minimum wage will decrease the number of people living in poverty and also keep workers longer by reducing the cost to train new employees. The ill main point will present why low wages need to be improved. The blame main point will present why the minimum wage is being prevented from increasing. And lastly, the cure main point will explain why it's urgent that we need to raise the minimum wage.
Then it's ill. Raising minimum wage will result in people getting laid off from their jobs, higher price rates, and fewer possibility of being hired. First, companies with low budget might dismiss some of the employees in order to remain in budget while raising prices. Although it will benefit some employees, the rest who gets laid off remains unemployed. Second, people will compete intensely for jobs position, according to Los Angeles articles titles, Raising the Minimum Wage. It states that what's worse, a growing percentage of U.S. jobs are the lowest skill industry that are most likely to pay the minimum wage. Increasing minimum wage will also result in higher living mortgage rates. Although it might benefit those who lower incomes, it will only benefit. 9 states have already raised the minimum wage to $7.25. This might also become a problem in the future.
Low wages need to be improved in the interests of employees, businesses, and the economy. The reason why there is low minimum wage is because most low-wage workers work for large corporations and not small businesses. Also, most of these corporations mark down their employees because many low-wage jobs do not require workers to have much skill. Family-owned businesses are not the main problem when it comes to employing workers at a low wage. The problem comes from corporations, and studies have shown that increasing minimum wage will actually help a large amount of people who are barely getting by on minimum wage jobs. Businesses, on the other hand, will benefit through this change because better paid workers will have more money to spend back into businesses. Increasing minimum wage will positively affect not only the employees but business owners as well. By paying employees more, chances of workers spending their extra money earned back into businesses will also increase. Overall, increasing minimum wage increase would have mixed effects.
So now that we have just discussed why the minimum wage has not increased over the years, we can now move on to why it is important that we raise the minimum wage. We need to raise the minimum wage to $10.10 an hour because by doing so, we as a society have the potential to help end or reduce poverty. The Washington Post of January 4th, 2014 reported that by raising the minimum wage by 10%, meaning from $7.25 to $8, we would be able to reduce the number of people living in poverty by about 2.4%. Thus, we can estimate that by raising the minimum wage to $10.10 an hour, we would be able to reduce the number of people living in poverty by 4.6 million, as well as boost the incomes of those at the 10th percentile by 1,700. Just by looking at these statistics, we can infer that by raising the minimum wage, the poverty rate across the United States will lower. Not only would this be beneficial to those who work minimum wage jobs, but it would also be beneficial to the government since the majority income percentile would no longer need to rely on the government for food stamps, earned income tax credit, or any other means of aid simply because they are able to support themselves better with the raised income.
Raising the minimum wage will reduce the number of people living in poverty, help people keep their jobs longer, and benefit families with low incomes. Low wages need to be improved for the sake of employees, businesses, and the economy overall, and poverty in the United States. We have the ability to end poverty in the U.S. by increasing the minimum wage. We are making a huge difference, not just to ourselves, or the government, but to the world.